What up, y'all? Welcome back to the By Myles Design and Print Studios YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I posted my last video, a little bit over a month. Just a couple updates with me. I did turn 31 on March 17th, and also on March 17th, I also celebrated my 10-year anniversary of Legal Hustle Clothing. During that celebration, we also did make an announcement that Legal Hustle Clothing is now under the By Myles Design and Print Studios umbrella or company. So Legal Hustle Clothing is now officially Legal Hustle Clothing by Myles. Started a new journey, turned another a year older, and I thought it was just time. Legal Hustle Clothing was something that got me into the industry and got my foot into the door and really showed my hustle as a young 20-year-old getting into my 30s. And now By Myles is the company where I want to take everything that I've done and learned and help you guys and help anybody else, whether it be companies or small businesses or startup entrepreneurs or someone that wants to get into the streetwear industry. I think now it's just the opportunity for me to share what I've learned over the last 10 years. Now, today's episode is about Amazon and Amazon heat presses and why I personally don't support buying from there, and I don't want to say I don't recommend you guys do, but I have some opinions to it. But before we get into that, my name is AlbertMylesMejia. I'm the owner and founder of Legal Hustle Clothing, the creative director of By Myles Design and Print Studios, and I'm also the creator of the Facebook group YYC Soldiers Calgary Sneaker Community. Now, before I get into this, another quick disclaimer. Everything I'm going to talk about today is just my personal opinion as to why I don't buy heat presses off Amazon. So all the information you're going to hear from me today, just take that with a grain of salt. Help that in figuring out what you want to do or what you want to invest in, and hopefully it works out for you in the future. Why don't I purchase heat presses off Amazon? Yes, I know they're cheap. Yes, I know they're easy to use. Yes, I know you can get a 6-in-1 heat press, t-shirt press, hat press, all of these things. But the number one thing for me, and when I think about an investment, is how long is this machine gonna last? I could buy a heat press for $200, but is it gonna break down on me in 3 months and I have to spend another $200 on a heat press, and it's gonna break down again on me in maybe 6 months, and then I have to spend another, so that's $600, and you could spend that in maybe 2 years. And to you, you might be breaking it down, that's not a lot of money, but personally for me, I print a lot of t-shirts and I work with a lot of businesses, and I am working where I'm pressing maybe one day is only 10 t-shirts, and the next day I could be pressing 100 t-shirts and then 50 t-shirts the next day. So for me, it's all about that longevity. You got to think about it the same way you think about your company or your brand. When you create something, you think about the longevity. If you're not thinking about what it's going to be like in the next 5-10 years or even the next year, 3 years, then what's the purpose of really doing it? Now, I know some people are just in it to make a quick buck or just kind of do something for fun and not on the side, and that's perfectly fine. Amazon is a great place to make some of these purchases. Another con for me when it comes to some of these Amazon heat presses is I've seen a lot of malfunctions happen. I've been in a lot of Facebook groups over the last couple of years, and one thing I've noticed during the pandemic or at the beginning of the pandemic to now is a lot of people are getting into the t-shirt printing business and even the mug pressing and hat pressing. And the question is, what's a good heat press on Amazon? And a lot of people have replied with their heat presses that they've purchased, but I've also seen a lot of people talk about the heat presses they purchased online that malfunctioned. Some have almost burned down their houses. Some of them luckily were able to save a part of their basement. And what I'm talking about is, when you buy some of these presses, they are coming from China, and our wattage or the electricity could be different, and when you plug it in, you could turn it on and everything is fine, but you might start smelling something where it smells like smoke, and you look behind the machine and you can see the cord is starting to melt, maybe because there's too much electricity going through and the machine can't handle it, or there's just some malfunction going on. And I found with a lot of heat presses coming from Amazon, that was one of the main things. And this goes into my next point is, if something like that happens, what is your warranty? Who can fix it for you? For me, I have 3 heat presses. I have a Cricut Easy Press. I have a Caesar 9x12 craft press. And I also have a 21-year-old Hotronix heat press by Stalls, which is what got me into printing my own designs or printing my own shirts when I first started. Started with printing anyway, started with the printing business. And you know, this machine has been with me. It's a 16x20. It's been with me for about 6 years now, maybe five to 6 years. It was purchased off of my one of my good friends' father has passed away, and this was one of his main source of income. And he actually, shout outs to Renee, he actually told his mom to sell it to me so I could start learning how to print my own shirts. So over the last 6 years, I've been printing my own shirts and then started printing for other businesses. But this machine has lasted me for 21 years. The crazy part about it is I actually took it for repair just back in October of 2020. I believe something happened when we were moving, and you know, things happen, and you know, shit has to get fixed. You know, work doesn't end. So I took it in to the closest place for me was 3 hours away. So I drove down there with my dad. We brought the heat press. It took them about maybe 2 weeks to get everything fixed. And that was the reason why, if you watch my older videos, I purchased the Caesar heat press. But the longevity of this machine is crazy. On top of that, the repairs for it. You have to think about, if something happens to your heat press, how can I fix this? Who can fix it for me? And you know, if you're gonna deal with someone on Amazon, you don't know what country they could be from. They could be from Canada, a company selling it, but they might have purchased that from someone in China and are just selling it as a distributor, and they don't fix it. So that's another reason why I'm not a fan of purchasing from Amazon when it comes to heat presses. I want to be able to look up who can fix my heat press if something happens. For me, it's all about, if it's in North America, that's perfect. If I have to ship it out, you know, to the States because they can fix it, then I'm fine with that. But if I have to purchase a heat press over and over and over again, when you think about it, like, I've seen people in some of these Facebook groups that have made 3 to 4 purchases of heat presses from Amazon that costed them maybe about like $250 Canadian. Now if you times that by 4, that's about $1,000. You know, like, that's already $1,000 that you could have invested into a better machine, or you can even find one that's secondhand. Now don't get me wrong, you know, when I talk about some of the malfunctions that some of these machines can have, you know, some of these machines could have the exact same malfunction, but for me, I'm able to call the helpline center or customer service, and even though this machine is 21 years old, they still help me out with it. I can call them and say, hey, this is happening to my heat press, and what can you do, or what can I do, or what do I need to purchase to fix this? When this thing actually broke down, the first, when my Stalls Hotronix heat press broke down, I actually bought the parts myself from Stalls and did kind of like the self repairs, and it did fix it a little bit, but there was some stuff that I couldn't get to. But it actually taught me a little bit about how to take this apart and how to look at it and how to work on the machine, which is great because, you know, the parts were just coming from a city over, and it, you know, I could have either driven down there or they just shipped it to me and they came the next day. Another thing with the Amazon heat presses, when you're printing shirts, you know, you might see people that talk about it and their designs are literally peeling off the shirt. Like this right here, I printed this years ago. This was probably when I first got my heat press, and it's still on the shirt. I find that a lot of new printers that are getting into the t-shirt business, they might not have the right temperature, or they might have it on the thermometer, like digital thermometer on the heat press, saying that their shirts are, or their heat press platen is at 285 degrees Fahrenheit, and when they press the shirt, lift it off, peel off the backing, the vinyl comes off because it wasn't cured onto the shirt. Now, you know, that could also be an issue because you have cold spots, and that's the thing you have to test for, and that's the reason why a lot of people in the t-shirt printing industry, especially when it comes to printing transfers and vinyl, we always say have a thermometer gun, just so you can actually get a proper readout. Because even on my stalls or on my Caesar or my Cricut heat press or easy press, it can tell me that it's 300 degrees, but it might be off by about 10. So if you really need it to be specific, you know, if it says 300 and you need it to be at 300 but it's actually showing 290 on the thermometer gun, then you can just move it up by 10. So you go from 300 on the digital readout to 310, and you know, that's kind of how you get the proper readout. Another thing is I just don't like how some of these look, some of the heat presses look. Like, I don't need the 6-in-1. I don't need the mug press. Although I did buy the Cricut mug press, which has been totally amazing, worth the investment if you're looking to get a heat press that will print out your mugs 100%. And this is just from my opinion, it's been 100% with me. Just invest the 279 Canadian into the easy mug press. I know you could, again, go on Amazon, get a mug press for $120, but you're trying to figure out the tightness of how to clamp your mugs in there, and it could be a headache, and you're just gonna be wasting a lot of product, you know, if you're just testing mugs over and over again to get the right clamp, you know, to press onto the mugs. You're gonna be wasting time. Again, time is money. You're looking for an investment that will last you a long time, and knowing that Cricut is a North American company, if anything happens, again, I could just call them and let them know, hey, I'm having this issue, is there anything you can do to help me out with this? But yeah, that's a kind of a long video for someone that hasn't been dropping videos in a while, but I do promise I will be back. I'm gonna be trying to push 2 videos a week, so I should have a video coming out real soon. But guys, thank you again for checking out this video. I'm sorry that it took me so long to come out, and I know a lot of people that have asked about this video or asked about Amazon heat presses and if I could talk about them. Sorry it took so long, but here is a video for you that hopefully can help you start your t-shirt business, and or help you start and make another purchase for a heat press. But before I go, make sure to follow me on Instagram at by.myles, on Twitter at @bymyles, Facebook facebook.com/bymyles, on Twitch twitch.tv/bymyles. And guys, my website is finally here. Please check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Send me a question on there. Send me an email on there. My website is bymylesstudios.com. I also have a t-shirt up there for sale. So if you guys want to help me out and want to help me bring in more product or create more products, or even just like make purchases for you guys so you guys can see some of these machines, like the easy mug or the easy mug press or the Cricut mug press I did in the last video. You guys got to see that. Feel free to support the channel, support the company. Again, Legal Hustle Clothing, by Myles, by Myles Design and Print Studios. Thank you guys again. My name is Albert. I'll see you at the next one. Peace.